Michael Caine had worked for Metropolitan Transit Authority for nearly 30 years. He'd begun as a ticket collector and now, at 58, served as night shift supervisor at Central Station. He prided himself on having seen it all: drunken passengers, medical emergencies, even a childbirth on Platform 3. Nothing fazed him anymore. Until tonight. The autumn rain fell in sheets outside the station's glass ceiling, creating a hypnotic drumming that had nearly lulled Michael to sleep at his desk. His coffee had gone cold hours ago, and the clock on the wall read 3:17 a.m. Just another quiet Tuesday night shift. His radio crackled suddenly, jolting him awake. Central Control to Supervisor Caine. Do you copy? Michael grabbed the radio. Caine here. Go ahead. There was a long pause filled with static. Sir, we have an anomaly on the tracking system. Can you confirm if there are any scheduled arrivals at Platform 7? Michael frowned. Platform 7 had been decommissioned for renovations months ago. Negative, Control. Platform 7 is closed for construction. Has been since July. The static grew louder on the radio, almost drowning out the voice on the other end. Sir, our systems are showing an incoming train. Designation 909. Michael's blood ran cold. Everyone at the MTA knew about train 909. It was the Transit Authority's very own ghost story. A late-night commuter train that disappeared 10 years ago. No wreckage ever found. No bodies recovered. Just vanished somewhere between Central Station and Newbury Junction, along with its passengers and crew. Control, that's not funny. 909 was decommissioned after the incident. Check your systems. The voice on the other end was trembling now. I've run 3 diagnostics, sir. System shows 909 approaching Platform 7, ETA 3 minutes. Michael stood up, suddenly wide awake. That's impossible. Sir, there's something else. The dispatcher's voice dropped to a whisper. Platform cameras are picking up. I don't know how to describe it. You need to see this. Michael's computer pinged with an incoming file. He clicked on it, opening the security feed from Platform 7. What he saw made his heart stop. Where there should have been construction barriers and equipment, Platform 7 was now clear. The platform lights flickered intermittently, illuminating swirls of unnatural mist that seemed to coil and move with purpose. And at the far end of the platform, 2 glowing points of light grew larger, train headlights approaching through darkness. Jesus Christ, Michael whispered. I'm heading down there. Alert security and call the police. Now. He grabbed his flashlight and master keycard, hands shaking as he hurried down the admin corridor toward the main concourse. The usually bright station lighting seemed dimmer than usual, the shadows between pillars deeper and more menacing. The rain against the glass ceiling had intensified, drowning out the sound of his footsteps. But as he approached the entrance to Platform 7, Michael heard something else beneath the rainfall. A low metallic groan, like steel under immense pressure. His radio crackled again. Sir, police are on their way. ETA 12 minutes. Too long, Michael thought. Whatever was happening now. Standing before the sealed entrance to Platform 7, Michael hesitated. Every instinct told him not to proceed, but 30 years of duty pushed him forward. He swiped his keycard. The doors slid open with a hiss. Cold air rushed out, carrying with it a smell like wet earth, and something metallic, like old pennies. Blood. Michael stepped onto the platform, his flashlight beam cutting through the unnatural mist. The air felt heavy, pressing against his skin like a physical weight. His breath came out in visible puffs, despite it being a mild autumn night. At the far end of the platform, the headlights grew brighter. Michael could now make out the silhouette of an approaching train. His radio crackled again, making him jump. "Sir, we've found something in the archives." The dispatcher's voice sounded distant, breaking up. "The manifest from 909's last journey. There's something you should know." "Go ahead," Michael said, his eyes fixed on the approaching train. The train disappeared on October 17th, 2014. Today is the 10-year anniversary. Michael swallowed hard. What else? It disappeared at precisely 3:33 a.m. Michael glanced at his watch. 3:31 a.m. The train was now visible through the mist, moving impossibly slowly. It was an older model, not the sleek modern commuter trains currently in service, but one of the heavier models phased out years ago. Its exterior was rusted, windows fogged or broken, yet the headlights shone with unnatural brightness. As the train drew closer, Michael saw something moving behind those grimy windows, shadows shifting back and forth, pressing against the glass. Michael stumbled backward as a pale hand slammed against one of the windows, leaving a smeared print in what looked horribly like blood. The face that followed was barely visible, just hollow eyes in a gaunt face, mouth open in what might have been a scream or a grotesque smile. Then it was gone, pulled back into the darkness of the carriage. The clock on the platform read 3:32 a.m. The train slowed as it approached the platform, wheels screaming against rails that should have been removed months ago. Steel groaned and sparks flew as the massive machine ground to a halt. 3:33 a.m. The train stopped with a final bone-jarring shudder. For a moment, everything was silent. Even the rain seemed to have paused. Michael stood frozen, flashlight beam trained on the first carriage. The train looked wrong. Its proportions seemed slightly off, as if it had been stretched in subtle, nauseating ways. The paint had peeled to reveal not metal underneath, but something that looked organic, like wet, pulsing tissue. His radio hissed static, then went dead. The doors of the first carriage slid open. Nothing emerged, just darkness and that strange, metallic smell, now stronger. "Hello?" Michael called out, immediately regretting breaking the silence. "Transit Authority. This area is restricted." His voice echoed strangely, as if the platform had suddenly become much larger than it should be. From inside the train came a sound, soft at first, then growing louder. Whispers, dozens of overlapping voices, some pleading, some angry, some seemingly reciting numbers or names in patterns that made no sense. Michael's training told him to wait for security, but something else, curiosity, or perhaps something controlling his actions, made him step forward. Flashlight extended toward the open doorway. The beam illuminated the interior of the carriage. The seats were occupied by passengers, or what remained of them. Some were nothing but skeletons, bones still draped in the decayed remnants of clothing. Others appeared mummified, skin stretched tight over bone, eyes sunken into hollow sockets. And some looked recently deceased, skin pale but intact, eyes closed as if merely sleeping. But worst of all were those who seemed alive. Pale, gaunt figures who sat unnaturally still, eyes fixed on nothing. One woman in the front row slowly turned to face Michael. Her movements were jerky, like a marionette controlled by unseen strings. Her eyes were completely black, and when she opened her mouth, only darkness could be seen within. All aboard. The words weren't spoken so much as felt, vibrating through Michael's chest like bass from a powerful speaker. He stumbled backward, dropping his flashlight. It rolled toward the open door of the train, the beam spinning wildly across the platform before disappearing inside the carriage. As Michael turned to run, the station's PA system crackled to life. What came through wasn't the usual clear announcement voice, but something distorted and wrong, like someone speaking through water and static. The midnight train is now boarding at platform 7, service to elsewhere. Michael sprinted for the exit, lungs burning. The keycard scanner flashed crimson. One-way journey, ticket required. Behind him, something emerged from train 909's mist. Not passengers, but mockeries of life. Their movements betrayed them. Jerky marionettes or two fluid specters gliding above concrete. His radio crackled. "Kane, security's coming. Help," marked the train. A frigid hand clamped his mouth, smelling of grave soil. The radio clattered to the floor. "You dropped something, Michael," whispered a voice against his neck. He wrenched free and turned. The conductor's uniform hung in tatters, stained with decades-old darkness. His cadaverous face watched Michael with famine-bright eyes, smiles stretching unnaturally to reveal needle-like teeth. "Ticket, please." "I don't have one." The conductor's grin widened beyond human limits. "Everyone has a ticket. Some just don't know it yet." He extended a yellowed slip bearing Michael's name. "How?" The conductor tilted his head at an impossible angle. "We've been waiting. 10 years gathering souls. Tonight, our collection is complete." More figures materialized. Fragmentary beings with missing parts, others flickering between existence and void. The radio pleaded, "Kane, we can't open the doors." "They can't help you," the conductor said. "This platform has already departed." The station dissolved into limitless darkness, the train tracks now stretching into a pulsing void. "What do you want?" "A new conductor, Michael. I'm tired after 10 years. It's your turn now." "And if I refuse?" The passengers encircled them, hungry eyes fixed on Michael. "Then you join them." The conductor gestured at the train windows, where the damp pressed against glass. Decomposed corpses alongside the living, mouths stretched in silent screams. Hands slammed against windows, anguished faces multiplied. A psychic cacophony of torment flooded Michael's mind until he begged for mercy. With a snap of bony fingers, the conductor silenced everything. "Take the ticket or join them." Michael's trembling fingers touched the ticket. White-hot agony seared through him, his body twisting, elongating, transforming as the world warped around him. "The transition is difficult," the conductor's voice echoed distantly, but brief. Then, clarity. Michael stood transformed on platform 7, seeing beyond physical reality. The former conductor had joined the passengers, his face now empty. Michael's new uniform bore spreading stains like living ink. In his pocket, a pocket watch permanently displaying 3:33. Security finally breached the platform. As they approached with drawn weapons, Michael saw ghostly tickets hovering above them. Names, destinations, dates. Not tonight, but someday. He smiled, knowing from their recoil that his face had become just as wrong as his predecessors. I have a schedule to keep. Michael turned and boarded the conductor's car. As he did, he saw their faces appear at the windows, joining the gallery of the damned, their expressions already beginning to take on that same hollow-eyed stare. The train began to move, slowly at first, then with building speed. Platform 7 blurred and distorted around them as they passed through the barrier between worlds. He checked his new watch again. Still 3:33. Always 3:33. The radio in his compartment crackled to life. "Conductor Kane," came a voice that seemed to be composed of many voices speaking in unison. "Report status of soul collection." Michael picked up the receiver, somehow knowing exactly what to say. 5 new passengers acquired, 47 souls aboard. Next stop, Northfall Station. Estimated arrival, October 21st, 2025, 1 year from now. Acknowledged, conductor. Collection quota. Michael consulted a ledger that had appeared on his desk. Names, dates, stations. 12 more required to complete the manifest. "Very good, conductor. Proceed as scheduled." As the radio went silent, Michael settled into his new role. He would have a year to learn the rules before the next stop. A year to understand what he had become. A year before Train 909 would emerge once again into the world of the living to claim more souls. He moved to the window and looked back toward the fading light of Central Station. In his mind, he could hear the dispatch center in chaos. Reports of 5 missing men, a decommissioned train appearing and disappearing, and the haunting final words of Michael Caine on the recovered radio. "The midnight train is boarding. Next stop, everywhere and nowhere. Please, have your tickets ready."
Listen carefully. The next time you're alone on a train platform after midnight, that whistle in the distance might not be coming from any train on the schedule. And if you hear an announcement for Train 909, run. Because by the time you see its lights approaching through the mist, it's already too late. Your ticket has been issued. The midnight train is coming for you next.
Did the story send chills down your spine? There's more where that came from. Like this video if you dare, and subscribe to Whispered Terror Tales for more nightmares. Turn on the bell so you never miss the next scare.